we can track someone's driving habits and whether they're and people have been abducted using them and all sorts of other. This is a way to fight against that.
And the only warning you can get possibly is that chirping from the AirTag. We should really bring one in here today. We should. The search done that. We can do that one week and then we test it out. And see if we can find it in here and see if it chirps.
I think I have one.
You do?
Yeah, I think I'll bring one.
Okay, next week.
But see, that's the point. If there's a speaker so it doesn't chirp, there's really no way for you to know.
And the Android app just blows. No decent, it just blows.
Well, I think that speaks to the companies and operating systems to play well with each other, just from RCS chat and everything.
Exactly. And I looked up the Android, find my device, and I could give you 100 steps and the whole thing, but I never did any of that to my phone. I keep my location on, I keep my Wi-Fi on when I'm at home, and so when I miss a device in my house, and if that's a watch, an OS watch for Android, something like that, if you're signed into the Google account on those devices, all you have to do is type into your browser, find my device.
I can do that, and
you don't have to set up anything.
Right. I don't have to even turn on my Wi-Fi. I don't even have to turn on my geolocation, and I can tell it to play a tone. It'll have my phone ring for me, and I can find it in the house.
And if it is something bad, you can lock it.
Or erase it.
But the only thing is fair warning on that erase business. It is erased.
Oh, yeah, it's done. It's like the nuclear option. You are not coming back from that, so you better be on the cloud.
Yeah, but I do wonder just a little bit. Do they have a backup with their phone? They say they do.
I have to assume that they do. I always assume that they have.
Here's where it is.
I always assume that my data is going to be used against
my back.
That's their job to keep your data. But I'm out of time with you, Marsha. I always love talking to you very quickly. You brought me a book this evening.
Well, real quick, school's about to end. People are trying to figure out what to do as far as a job. And if you love sports, I have a book to write it. I make no money for it. The name of it is So You Want to Work in Sports by a sports writer called K.P. Lee. And the forward is by Fred Blair, who is the general manager of the Dodgers. And there's a whole chapter in there about me because I was the general manager of the Los Angeles newspaper.
There's a very cool picture of you as well with Tommy Lasorda.
Thank you. Yeah, I got pictures. I have pictures of David Kovacs. I have pictures Fernando learning how to do football.
Really?
Yeah, I was sitting there in Vero Beach on the grass watching there.
Well, we have to just have you just come on and talk Dodgers with us sometime. Now, you may not know this, the number one Dodger fan in all of KFI is the King, and number two is Jennifer Jones-Lee, or it might be switch, but one of the two. So we need to have some Dodger conversation.
Yeah, with a few cocktails not on the air, I can tell you.
Oh, look at that. Always good to see you.
Thank you, Mo, and I will see you next week.
Yes, you will.
And Amy, we're going to test that AirTag. Okay, that's it.
All right, with Mo Keller, KFI 8640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app now. Let's go to the KFI 24-hour news from the game.
Charges against actor Alec Baldwin in connection with the deadly movie set shooting have been dropped. Baldwin, who was also a producer, was pointing the gun at the cinematographer during a rehearsal when the gun went off, killing her in New Mexico in 2021.
Baldwin had been charged with those 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter that had accused him of ignoring safety.
Of the tragic accident. Baldwin says he never pulled the trigger, but an FBI report found the weapon could not have been fired. An illegal dispensary task force in Compton has 420 lighten up from law enforcement. Special counsel David Welch says voters rejected pot dispensaries in 2018.
Over the last 6 months, they've closed 9 dispensaries that were operating for up to 5 years in the city, selling not only marijuana, but other types of narcotics, including MDMA, also possessing guns on premises.
Welch says the city filed more than 30 lawsuits against dispensary operators, their property owners, and any bank or lender who financed the illegal operation. The city says an estimated 80 illegal pot dispensaries have operated in the city. More than 1,300 Disneyland security workers will be getting a wage increase, nearly $8 an hour. Workers' $6 hourly raise went into effect the first of this month. It'll be followed by a dollar an hour hike next April and then another hourly raise in 2025. All combined, the raises will boost security employees' minimum wage to $26 an hour, so from $18.10 an hour. Disney officials say they're glad to have reached an agreement with the union. The Republican-led House has passed a bill that would bar federally supported schools and colleges from allowing transgender athletes who were born biologically male to compete on girls' or women's sports teams. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy says the bill preserves Title IX.
We can understand the other person. We can go to dinner with the other person. We can hang out with the other person. But there's a reason why Title IX was created. There's a reason why men and women.
The legislation approved by a 219 to 203 vote is not likely to make it any further because President Biden has said he would veto it, and the Senate is controlled by Democrats. That House action comes as at least 20 other states have imposed similar limits on trans athletes. Despite rumors, Blink-182 is not going to be taking Frank Ocean's place as a headliner for the second weekend of Coachella. Organizers released the set times and put Blink-182 before the yet-to-be-announced headliner for Sunday. Ocean pulled out of his performance yesterday just because of a leg injury. Bad Bunny and K-pop group Blackpink will headline again Friday and Saturday. Southland weather from KFI. Clear with lows in the 40s and 50s. Sunny and warmer tomorrow with highs in the 80s at the beaches. 80s to low 90s for Metro LA, inland OC, the valley to IE, 70s in the Antelope Valley. South and same for Saturday, then cooling off Sunday with highs in the 60s to upper 70s. It's 68 in Garden Grove, 67 in Mission Viejo. Got a stall in downtown LA on the 110.
110 freeway, the northbound side, the stalling is gone, but we certainly got a lot of leftover slowing northbound side of the 110, getting away from Exposition Boulevard all the way on up through the 10 freeway. So just expect a little like time there. West LA, we've got a crash there. We're on 405 northbound for Sunset Boulevard. Left lane is blocked. Slow back to Wilshire Boulevard. Also, Hollywood is still pretty slow. 101 southbound from Western on down to Echo Park. And in the West LA area again, this time 10 freeway, it's still just kind of slow and cranky there eastbound from the 405 over to the 110. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Will Colestar. Hey, you like my new bike? I thought you were buying a car. I tried. There's no availability. Look, not in the right place. Roto.com has cars. Really? Tons of them. And at great prices. Check Roto on your phone. Wow, that's a lot of cars. Didn't they take a trade-in for a bicycle? It's brand new. Okay, but
The wait is over. New and pre-owned cars are available right now. Start saving by downloading the Roto app or check out ROTHSCHILD.com.
hey, it's Team Sharp with the unfiltered truth about water softeners. They don't filter your water. There's a better solution, a Light Source whole house water system. Light Source gives you filtered, delicious drinking water from every tap. No filters to change, no salt, no servicing, and now on a free credit, own a Light Source system for as low as $75 a month with their easy payment plan. Call Light Source at 800-803-2696, 800-803-2696, or visit lightsourcewater.com.
DIA transmission fluid.
Seriously? I feel like it's just the break.
We all know how it can be to go to the wrong place for car repair. Oh, look at that. Check engine light is on again. So don't risk it. Take your car to the experts at AMCO. AAMCO. Check engine light on? We'll check it for free. Restrictions, limitations, and exclusions may apply. See AMCO.com for complete details. Jim Carlos, Carlos Chevrolet, Costa Mesa. We have Silverados, Suburbans, Tahoes, and all-electric Volt EVs. Our inventory is back, and we're dealing at CarlosChevrolet.com. Find your roads at Carlos Chevrolet, the Orange County original since 1964. This is Jacob Emma. If you've been involved in a motorcycle accident, call 844-24-JACOB.
We tend not to think about right now, but right now in front of us is victory over cancer. Right now, cancer research funded by the V Foundation is leading to better treatment and saving lives. If you give to the V Foundation, 100% of your donation goes directly to game-changing cancer research. Victory over cancer is there for the taking. Are you? Donate at V.org, because today's cancer research is tomorrow's victory.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Chew on this. This fight with Jennifer Jones Lee, weekday mornings 5 to 6 on Wake Up Call on KFI. On Twitter, I post random art pictures of my food. I'm staying up to date with friends while walking down the street. Yeah, Twitter's pretty sweet. Watch every one of the iHeartRadio apps. Yes, the great Twitter purge.
What up, Pimpity Pimp? Ready to do this thing?
Is well underway.
Excellent. I'm going to start one up. And then I also created groups, so I'm going to send out invites. We're going to get a ton of people here. We're going to rock out, okay? Excellent. I'm sending you an invite now, okay?
For our
Okay.
personal grievances, issues, no debate, no discussion, just from us. Unless you're going to pay $8 a month, which I made very clear I was not going to. So Twitter continues to change. Now, as far as companies paying $1,000 per month, that's still kind of up in the air. You may notice if you're on Twitter, companies have been now given a yellow check mark to designate an official company. Government agencies, it's not so clear as far as how that's going to shake out. But individuals, you have to, like, for example, iHeartRadio, it has a gold check mark. It's an official company. Anyone who works under that banner, like KFI, it has a gold check mark. It's an official company. But individual personalities on KFI, iHeartRadio, iHeartMedia more generally, we have to pay $8 a month. I'm not going to do that. You know, if that makes me an absolutist, so what? I saw you, Eddie King, looking at me. I'm absolute on that. That's for me, just the principle. I just don't pay for social media. That's all there is
No
to it.
pay for social media and no leftovers. Got it.
Yeah, and food, please don't let it touch. Okay? And no favorite tweets. That's just, yeah. No fun in Star Wars. No. You have a lot of hard lines. No, they're negotiable. They're negotiable. Like, I've had leftovers in my life. Like, for example, my wife may cook salmon on a given Sunday night.
Oh, you don't eat that for leftovers.
Well, I would like to eat it all in one sitting, but it's not possible. So it may trickle into the next day. I mean, I will eat it, but begrudgingly. Oh, absolutely not.
No leftovers.
Wait, I will stand there, but I will not eat, like, especially not cold pizza the next day. No freaking way. No.
Michael Bass, how are you, sir? Letting you up right now.
That's about that. Okay, it's not everything.
But it's cold pizza.
That's what it's better. Nothing cold
How was your day?
better than when it was fresh. She brought up some hiking a couple weeks ago.
I would say the same. I lost my blue check mark, so I'm in mourning of that.
One piece left over. And
Oh, shit happens. I just didn't pay. I don't have any money, so you lose it after some time. But I thought there were some people who like didn't pay and were able to keep theirs, but I didn't have the same fortune that they did.
definitely don't have leftover oysters.
I wasn't trying to combine two. I really wasn't. No. No. It's one of those things where, like, for example, I've tried different things as I've gotten older since we're talking about food.
I had the same issue.
But I'm pretty now set in what I do and don't
Yeah,
like. Yes, your taste may change as you get older. There's certain things that I ate when I was younger.
Right. So wasn't it like $11 actually?
When I was younger, that I do now. For example, I was cheap. Didn't like it then, don't like it now, and I'm not going to like it in 20 years. Period. Okra, I liked it when I was a kid.
Yeah, I did the same thing and it did not work, and that was very frustrating to me. So then I went on and did it with an Android device, and it did work.
There's certain things that I did not like.
Yeah. So what happened was I tried it using my iOS device for $11, and it took my money. Welcome, Hi Twisted. It took my money, but it did not register that it like a blue check mark. And when I went to the blue check mark part, it said that I still need to pay for Twitter Blue. So then I was like, well, what the hell is this? So then I go to Android and it's $8 and I pay for it. And then it worked. So then I had two accounts going. So I canceled the iOS device one that was $11. So it charged me $11 and got me absolutely nothing. And there's like no retribution for that. It's like too little of an amount to do anything about, but it's still a pain in the ass. So then, just recently the Android one wore off. Did you see that app I sent you that is in beta testing? That is basically can take long form YouTube videos and make them into like YouTube shorts. I am in agreement. I think that's going to be a game changer. And so it's in beta testing. I didn't play with it at all, but what I did do is watched a couple videos on it. And so essentially what it is you take, and it'll have several features, but you take a YouTube link and you put that in your into this app, and it will like tell you, okay, we're currently editing this for you using AI. After a certain amount of time, it'll be done, and then you can either download it and they'll upload it to your favorite thing, or they're saying that it will have configuration where it integrates into YouTube Shorts, Instagram, and TikTok. So that'll be key. When you just put a link in there and it automatically uploads to all those into like a short little segment. I agree. And like that's what we've been talking about. Welcome, Epics Dow and Hi Twisted. Hope y'all doing well tonight. It's the overnight show. What else happened that's good? We were a couple days ago reading through some of this stuff from the television show Black Mirror, which is really interesting. And I haven't seen it. I've seen a couple episodes, and they're pretty freaky. Yeah.
That's where it helps me. That I've got to write this the Black Mirror attention. It's way out of control.
So somebody else could pay. Somehow?
You can it's called a phone number.
Speaking of another Netflix series, they so essentially some of the technology in it. One of the things is the actual name of the show, the Black Mirror, a virtual reality platform that allows users to live out their darkest desires and secret wishes in a simulated environment. Some other things that they have, the social score system, which is definitely coming, a system that assigns a numerical score to individuals based on their behavior and popularity. The psychotherapy drone, a drone equipped with AI-powered therapy software that can provide mental health treatment to patients in remote locations. I don't really know. I mean, I don't know why you like. I guess it works, but it's to me, I don't know. It's more important to have a psychotherapy robot, but both are options. The DNA encoded memory system, a technology that allows memories to be stored in DNA, which would be wild. You'd be able to like give your children your memories. I'm in agreement. So like, I guess that. Exactly. And perhaps, that everybody always has, if I only knew what I knew now at age 18 or whatever, you might be able to provide that to your children in advance. Another is the Waldo moment, a cartoon bear character controlled by a human performer that becomes a political figure through a reality TV show, which I could actually see happening. It's kind of one of those theater of the absurd things. So I could see that being a thing. Another is the slavery system, a technology that allows people to enslave other people and control their actions through a chip implanted in their neck, which is a wild thing. I agree. It's a technology that allows people to enslave others and control their actions. Perhaps with adventures with a fantasy, so you get to do anything you want, but with the catch that the avatars are always the system. So not exactly how all that works. Now this is pretty cool. The hot shot. A drug allows the user to temporarily increase their intelligence and perception to superhuman levels. I think that one's very interesting. Yeah. Yeah, like that. If you've ever seen the movie Limitless, exactly. Well, we have a small room right now. I'm actually going to just do a quick test. I'm going to close the app and come right back. And just in case I have a rug, I want to make sure I was able to do it. So just one moment. Here we go.
With car prices at an all-time high, our donors are now getting highest repeat sellers. Donate at carsforkids.org, and your car can be picked up tomorrow. Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate. Results of negotiations on guaranteed not available in all states. Cost of discounts up to half or fees based on the average home debt and sold. If your credit card debt is out of control, if you're
I am back.
monthly payments,
Can you hear me, Bastomatic?
the credit card companies don't want you to know. If you have more than $10,000 in credit card debt, you have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe.
I am back. Can you hear me? Excellent. Excellent. Beautiful. Another type of technology is the dating app. And I really think this is going to be a thing. The dating app that uses personal data and social media activity to create an accurate love algorithm. So what is that? Essentially, they can take your financial data, your social data, your intelligence, background, put it into an algorithm, and then when you match with someone on a dating site, it'll tell you out of 1,000 marriages that you might have with this person, how many of them would be successful. So it would be like, 50%, 2%, and perhaps you might not even be able to see the person. If you get what I'm saying, you might not even be able to match with the person, perhaps, if you don't have the right score, which is scary. I mean, today and right now with Tinder, something that I did when I first moved to California is I hacked Tinder using an Android device that just like an old Android device, and I rooted it so that I could download this special program. And essentially what it allowed me to do was change my location positioning within the app. And so I was able to match with people. At the time I was living in LA, but not directly close to Beverly Hills. I was pretty close to Beverly Hills, but not that close. But I'd be able to put my little pin right there and get all the girls in Beverly Hills. Another thing it allowed me to do instead of swiping, oh, it's beautiful. Instead of swiping right, I could swipe on 256 girls at once. So just using one button, there was a thing that had 250. So I actually ended up taking a girl out from Tinder. That's how good I got on it. She worked for Match.com. She was a psychologist, and but I didn't ask her, but from her end, I had to be the most eligible bachelor in the world because of this app. Essentially, she's looking at all the people. She has the back end data, and I had so many matches because I was able to hack this. And there's an auto clickers basically it's not difficult. It's just swiping right on something and like being able to like do some workarounds when it comes to some advertising profiles. But if you are a dude and you want to get laid, get an app, get it like Tinder or one of those, and get an auto clicker. They make them that are native on your phone, or also there's a little device that I bought too that automatically like two fingers on it, like it can like be like fingers on a phone. You put, exactly. Yeah, yeah, you can buy them on Amazon very cheaply, and they auto click for you, and you just get the timing right on it, and so there are multiple options of it. You can do it where it's just like on your phone and it automatically clicks for you, or there's the option where it's like a manual thing, and it's got these special rubber grips on them so that it's like a finger, or the screen thinks it's a finger. So I ended up like winning all the dating apps. I'm going to be honest with you. Like I got every single girl on J Swipe to like me back. And so that's like the Jewish one. I got every single person I could find on Tinder, because after like so many swipes, it's like, like you've gone through it with everybody. And then there are other options too. I didn't so much do this, but I've heard it being done. I've seen it in a television show. Basically what you do is you create like 10 different profiles and you do the same thing. And so like if a girl likes, I don't know, like a bad boy, you have one of them that's like a bad boy. And then you have another one that's like a preppy guy. You have another one, enough pictures. One of the girls is going to be attracted to one of those profiles. And then, like basically, like I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but it's pretty convenient. And I mean, I'm just trying to help the average man out there. Yeah. I'm in agreement with you on that. I'm of the mentality, at least I feel sorry for women today, in a lot of ways, because I feel sorry for men too. I'm not gonna say I'm not like an empathetic person to humanity. Exactly. No, I am. No, I am. I'm saying I am very. I feel very. I'm very empathetic to men and women. I feel that they're both in difficult positions to find love, and like what media tells men that they should get out of women is not ideal, and what women should get out of men is not ideal. But additionally, there's been a huge increase in, I would say, like, well, just times maybe they're, hey, we got Ronnie coming. Let's see how Ronnie's doing. When you have like a lot of women, like there's that saying from that Lizzo song, why are men great till they have to be great? It's a great saying, basically. Like, when you really want your man to be great, he's not there for you, or he's, running around on you. So like there's a temptation to maybe not be with a man. And so, it takes away some of the population because men are so scummy. I would feel as if men weren't so scummy to women a lot of times, that there'd be much, I would say like it starts at that. Go ahead, Ronnie. Excellent. We're if you've ever seen the show Black Mirror, there's some kind of dystopian technology out there. We were talking about some dating apps, and what within the television show, there's a dating app that rhythm, and we were saying in the future, perhaps like that's like you would be limited to people based on this algorithm. And I was saying some of the ways that I had hacked hacked Tinder and some other apps were using auto clickers. Basically, you can get a machine that will always swipe right for you. And that's what men do. They only just swipe right, because then they just see what women will choose them, and then they choose from that. But I think a lot of women, I would say, particularly, there are some women who I think, and this is a personal choice, but are either lesbian or bisexual, who may want a heterosexual relationship, but they just can't find the right guy, and they know that women are generally better to them, and so that's why they choose that. Exactly. Exactly. But
and so many things more. And we'll be joined by one of his co-stars, Nicholas Littman, next
Yep.
in studio here on Later with Mo Recording, we're live everywhere. The iHeartRadio app.
Excellent. Whatever you can, Ronnie. Thanks for coming, my man. You're absolutely right. And if you were in a situation, like, fortunately, I haven't been in one of these where, but if you were, where the partner was abusive, you may not want to be with that, like, even gender anymore, because you know that, you know, they may have hurt you in the past, and it leaves you with essentially bad feelings. So I would say that in those cases, that there are a lot of women out there, and I really empathize with them, who, if they could find a good man, they'd be with a man, but they can't, so they're with women.
In the Japanese American community for 100 years. The center says the development will have a landscape courtyard, community-led mural inspired artists and growth, and an exhibit honoring the original building owners, the Hamano. The project is expected to be ready to open in 2025. Police in South LA are trying to find three drivers involved in deadly hit-and-run crashes that happened within 4 hours of each other.
One of the people killed was hit by 2 cars. We got a young lady who was possibly struck by a vehicle. We made that scene while getting from LAFD, struck by a second vehicle that pulled off the LAPD detective Brian Moreno said all 3 crashes happened in 1904 Eastern and early Eastern morning. He said that the other 2 crashes then were hit by cars while crossing the street. Police are asking for the public's help to find one of those cars. They say it's a silver sedan with damage to its hood.
Absolutely. A lot. Look, I have the feeling that at least sexuality, it's not binary. It is really it's a spectrum. So basically, if I put you or anyone in the room, if you're heterosexual, let's say, on an island filled with hot babes, you're gonna be like in heaven. Okay, great. But if I do the same thing and put it with the people who are the same gender as you, given enough time, you'll get so bored that you'll start to be attracted to them. Like, did you say like prison? Exactly. I agree with them too. I absolutely agree with them. I can tell you that, I mean, that's whatever they want to be, but it's a spectrum. Essentially, they were so bored, or the circumstances were such that it was impossible to have sex with a woman, that they just had to get the pleasure out. But that's not necessarily because they wanted to, or that's what they, or anybody else. Why? Because they were in a situation where they were looking at a long period of time without anything. And so, like, basically, I know there are a lot of men out there who perhaps aren't heterosexual, but they were in jail or prison or something like that, and there were no other options. I understand that. Like, if you were in that position, anybody would. That doesn't necessarily make them gay. It just meant they were bored enough to be gay at a certain point, and it shows that sexuality is a spectrum. How bored are you? If I put you in a room alone with someone of your own gender for a long enough period of time, you will eventually end up having sex with them. You'll be so bored that you will. It's just part of life. And so No. You absolutely will. If I put you in a room, a blank room, there's nothing in this room except the other person. Exactly. For 50 years. 100. Yeah. Exactly. You will be so bored. Exactly. And it's sure. Yeah, all the time. Interesting thought. So you're saying that you thought that, like, basically your mind could have a lack of stimulation such that you die?
for 420. Pineapple with air fresheners for $2. And the deals will continue through the week in case you can't make it in today for the actual holiday. Bouncing weather can clear, little breezy tonight, lows in the 40s and 50s. Sunny and warmer tomorrow.
Stimulation.
In the 80s at the beaches, near 90 for Metro LA and Metro East, in the 80s to low 90s for the valleys and inland empire. 70s with the gusty wind in the Colorado Valley. Sunny with highs in the 80s to low 90s on Saturday, then cooling down 10 degrees and more on Sunday with highs topping out. It's 58 in Diamond Bar, 63 in Newport Beach, 58 in Palmdale, 69 in Hollywood. Fashion orange on the 57.
I think it's an interesting thought. I think personally, you might lose your reasoning and your sense of normalcy, but I don't think that it's actual cause of death, if you understand what I'm saying. Like basically, I think of causes of death being like starvation or hypothermia. Like I've never seen anyone die from boredom.
Want to go car shopping with me this weekend? Again? Why is it taking you so long to buy a car? I'm trying. Cars are hard to find. I've looked everywhere. I checked Roto.com. Roto.com? Yes. Roto has exactly what you want. Available cars. And great prices. Okay, I'll check in. Oh my Roto, that's a lot of cars. The wait is over. Find new and pre-owned cars.
Oh, I could definitely see that. I could also see someone being so bored that they hit their head on a wall in an attempt to give them some kind of stimulation, and that causes them to go unconscious, and that kills them. I definitely could see that, and I think that is something that is probably pretty common of people, particularly in situations where someone has no opportunity. I mean, like they're in the hole, and exactly. Exactly. And perhaps as an escapism, like if I hit my head on this wall, hopefully I'll knock myself out and I'll just not have to worry about whatever my problems are currently. And yeah, I definitely can see that. But I think that the actual cause of death would be like blunt force trauma of the head to the wall. But you know, you raise a good point. I think they could be related, that you're so bored that you basically punish yourself in order to
It's a love story, but a painful one at times. It's full of intentional contradictions, incongruence, uncomfortable moments, and what I would call relentless honesty. Blind spotting is fictional, but it has a lot to say about the real world, from the prison industrial complex to complex family drama and more. My next guest is Nicholas Whitman, who co-stars in
it's interesting. I would say when it comes to human interaction, it's very important to have that. And when you put someone in, I mean, it's cruel and unusual punishment. I would even say, like, okay, when they make me head Jew or Pope or whatever, king of the world, this is what we're going to do. I mean, this is actually an excellent idea. Okay, here we go. So like people aren't that religious anymore generally, but like behind bars, they're very religious. It's just something that, oh yeah, definitely. I mean, like look at the, I mean, like if you look at statistically the amount of religiosity that happens to people. I mean, there's always been the joke, like people go to jail and then become Muslim. Like, you know, like there's like,
My mother is a single mother of 6 kids. I'm the eldest of the 6 kids. So my upbringing was very, to say the least. It was just a lot of struggle, a lot of
exactly, and they have a lot of time to contemplate what they've done wrong, and there's a lot of like, you know, new life in the Bible.
For sure. I was definitely, in one of my spoken word pieces, I say, a mother to my mother. So, you know, I was forced very
You're right.
early
So
on to
essentially,
figure,
but people do. I'm not saying everyone becomes religious, but a lot of people want. religious books. Now, there are people there who, if you told them that, like you gave them Harry Potter books, they'd become giant Harry Potter fans. It's like, what do you have access? A lot of times they'll give you the Bible because it's just like been a traditional thing that we've had through society, and you can get your hands on it, or Quran. I shouldn't say just the Bible, and people will connect to it. But that isn't to say they wouldn't do the same with other types of books. So I really feel like in jail, the current jail system that we have, where you're just in a cell and there's no stimulation, is cruel and unusual punishment in the modern world, where we have cell phones and you can look up things whenever you want. It's a certain punishment to me. I think that if you are in a jail cell and you can't remember a word, or you don't know a song lyric or something, and you know that you're not going to be able to figure this out for 27 years or 40 years, it would be very frustrating. And like, I mean, I know I would be like asking the guards, like, who sang everybody wants to rule the world? It's Tears for Fears, but like, I'd be like screaming, like asking questions, Google, like, because I wouldn't have Google. Essentially, I feel it's a punishment. So what's my plan? Essentially, what you would do is allow in jail the opportunity for prisoners, or you could play other games too. And I'm not saying you always get to play these things, but there should be at some point just play your regular Madden games. Like, well, why would you want to do that? It's very smart of NFL if we're to get behind some kind of program like this to help people who are like low-level offenders and things. Why? Because when those people would get out of jail, they would be the most die-hard NFL fans for whatever their team was of all time. They'd come out and be super fans. And essentially, they would be able to, like just like some people come out of jail and they'd be very, very religious and, have this new beginning. A lot of times they would be like super fans, like, oh man, we've been Chicago Bears fans since I was locked up. My grandpa was locked up in Joliet. Essentially, what I want to do is provide people in jail and prison with other options. You can't look at there's like no internet. You can't watch television. And I really feel like maybe 50 years ago, when we didn't have the internet and this connectivity and like the ability to look something up on your phone, okay, I'm not saying that was a good existence, but in today's day, it's much more of a punishment. And to me, it's cruel and unusual to take away all of those options for people, and then they don't have the opportunity to look anything up. So I would say that I would allow for video games in jails. And it's just something about, you need the stimulation. If you don't have any stimulation, you kind of go crazy. And it causes the prison guards issues because people are more violent. It causes people to want to escape. So what, I think that prison should just be like very fun and you just play video games all the day. No, but I'm saying that there should be aspects of it where you get some kind of stimulation. I really feel like a lack of stimulation is almost the ultimate punishment. I'm not saying it is the ultimate punishment, but boy, it's really, really sad if you don't have any stimulation. And Mac, I see you're coming back up. What are your thoughts on that?
I went to San State University, and it was Professor Ron. And I remember I used to hate so much that I was so sensitive and so emotional, And I remember him telling me, don't ever apologize for that. He said, that's what makes it so great to watch on stage. You're able to connect through emotion with the character. He said, you are a big fish in Sacramento's small pond. And I believe that you're going to keep great things. So just don't ever change who you are and don't let anyone get in your life. And that always stuck with me. So shout out to it.
What was the first role that you booked? Was it a commercial? Was it just a play? What was the first thing that you realized, hey, this might be something I could do as a film here?
I would probably have to say North Star. It was like, I think I was a freshman in college at the time. I could have been a sophomore. But it was with Dr. Melissa Wilson, who's also a professor at San State University. She cast me as a lead in North Star. And that was a big role to tackle for my first, really big working, I guess. And that's when I was like, oh my gosh, God, like, I could really do this. And again, it's all the feedback that you're also getting from other people that is confirming what you already believe that God to me. So sometimes you need that confirmation. You're like, okay, I'm not crazy.
Okay, You mentioned the Lord, let's go there. How often do you talk to the Lord along the way? Because I know in this business of entertainment, there are a lot of conversations that I had. It's like, Lord, is this where I'm supposed to be? Am I going to get an opportunity? Am I wasting my time? Or do you want me to use my time, my talent, my church elsewhere? How often were you having similar conversations to you?
Well, yeah. Well, my faith, I think it's all about the relationship, right? So it's not about religion, it's about relationship. In my relationship with Jesus, I like to say, it's just, we talk like, I talk to him just like if you talk to your friend or your parent or what. I have a relationship with him. So even the times where I don't understand what he's doing, or I'm like, God, why is this happening? I could talk to him because, he's my father, and I have that kind of, faith when it comes to my faith. But I will also have to say a big part of that, I do believe God speaks to other people again, so like kind of like getting that confirmation. And then also with my pastor, Dr. Jose and Calvary Baptist Church, California, 80, also someone that really revealed to me what purpose is and what my purpose is. And I used to be someone that was so ashamed of my story. I carried a lot of guilt and embarrassment about how I was raised, the things that I had endured, and it wasn't until I started.
100% agree. I don't understand. There are like free classes that are available on MIT and Lydia. I don't understand why we as a society don't have a system where when you do go to prison or jail, you can study, and so that when you get out, hopefully there isn't a recidivism rate, that you don't come back, that you're able to start a new life with new skills. There isn't that certain system. The best you can basically do is get a GED, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. No, that's excellent. And shout out to the people who work their way to get a GED and things. And there's a little bit, I shouldn't say that. There are people who go to college. I've actually known I've had employees who had like unfortunate situations when they were younger, and they were actually able to get that available to everyone. And that's to get a degree. That's fine. But when you there are like skills, life skills that you could be learning. It's essentially it's almost like the system likes to see people punished. And I mean, I understand it's not like it should be if you did something wrong, there's a certain aspect of the punishment. But additionally, don't we want you to not do that again? So if we want you to not do that again, let's give you the skills so that you won't, and I feel like that's really important. But so those would be some things that I would definitely do. Another thing, now that we have DNA technology, I would get rid of capital punishment. I think it should be illegal, because there's so many of these cases that were like 40 years ago and the person was framed for it and we didn't have DNA evidence, and they can be exonerated now. And but what happens instead is they're killed. It would, I agree.
And look out in Corona crash there on the 90 freeway west down toward Green River. The two little lanes are blocked there. Get you there faster.
This report is sponsored by CalHealth.org for free mental health help today. In
How much do you think your home is worth this year? Do you think it's going to be worth spending next year? If you're thinking about borrowing on your home equity, your odds of getting more out of your home is probably higher now than building next year. I certainly believe that. If you need $75,000 or more,
I couldn't agree.
Help you borrow the money, whatever your situation may be.
I couldn't agree more. And the way that, well, essentially, there's just no undoing it, essentially, with current technology. And we are wrong. And we see how corrupt the system is, especially when it comes to people of color and the higher rates at which they're incarcerated. And it's really unfortunate that we have people who basically don't, they feel like nobody cares about them. If people are ever behind bars and they ever hear this in the future, Like there are people who are fighting for you, and we're having these discussions, and we're doing what we can to help you. It's very difficult, as they may imagine, for just random people on the internet to care about them. But people do think about you, and we want you to have a better life. We want you out. We want you out and being really good parts of society, because honestly, nobody, I feel, like starts extremely evil. Like that's kind of like and my proof of this is if you take children and put them together, like under age, like basically 7, they don't see color. That's really something that is learned from their environment. Stargazer, thank you for joining us. Go ahead.
Including the most complicated repairs that come with some of the latest technologies. After 60 years, there's nothing we haven't seen there. It's how we know cars inside and out. Chevrolet.
I have one account that is a bot, but all the other accounts are real people. Yeah. Great question. Because normally I have like a girl in a bikini there, but I wanted something for the ladies or gay men as well, so I put that up there.